Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing 4 Hobby Lobby / Dollar Tree Christmas winter DIYs, which I hope you really like. So let's go ahead and get started with this one. So to start out, I'll be redoing this Dollar Tree piece of wall art. And so the first step is to go ahead and take it out of the packaging, and then I'll be removing the back. And then once I've done that, the next step is to just trace it onto the back of a sheet of paper. And I'm using this kind of like metallic-y white paper from Hobby Lobby. And so I'll just trace it out with a pencil, and then I will cut it out.
Let's take our kindness inside and test it out for a ride and love each other. Everyone out there deserves a little.
So after I finish cutting it out, I'm going to go ahead and glue it on there. I just used hot glue. I guess I didn't get that footage, sorry. But the second step is to start gluing on the pieces I'm going to be putting inside of the frame. So to start out, I used some of this Waverly wax. You can get it from Walmart, and I brushed it onto this Dollar Tree Color Your Own ornament. They come in like a pack of 5. And then after I stained it and let it dry, I'm just going to put some of this like glitter on it. And this is also from Walmart. And then I don't know if you can see here, but on the edges I did a little bit of green paint just because I thought it added a little bit of dimension and made it look cooler. And then after that, it's time to go ahead and glue that on. After gluing down my tree, I took some of these mini bottle brush trees, and these are also from Dollar Tree, and they come in like a pack of 4 or 5. And then I picked a couple out and I started gluing them on the sides, and I put 2 in the left because I purposely put the stained tree a little bit to the right because I wanted it off center, and then I glued the other one on the right side. And then I just took some twine and I tied a little bow and I glued it on top to finish it off, and then to cover that little hole on the top of my wooden tree. And then that's it, and this is how it looks in the end. So for the second DIY, I'm taking a piece of paper from Hobby Lobby, and I did the same steps that I did in the beginning of the first DIY, where I just took the backing out and traced it onto this piece of paper and then cut it out. And then I'm going to be hot gluing that onto my backing, and then once I've done that, I'll just pop it back into the frame. And then I will take this other piece of Hobby Lobby paper. This one is also kind of like metallic. It has a bit of a sheen on it. And then I'm going to take I'm using a plate here. You can use any object that's circular. And then I just traced around it, and I ended up going with a slightly smaller circle in the end just because of the way it looked inside of the frame. And then I'm going to hot glue that onto the backing. So the second step here is to just spell out the words that I want onto this piece of paper. And I'm using some more foam stickers. These are also from Hobby Lobby. And again, these seem to be really forgiving. I can just, peel them up, put them back down, and thanks to like the sheen of the paper, they don't seem to peel off anything. And so I'm going to be spelling the holly and the ivy. So I started out with my big gold letters, and I did have to move these around because I wasn't happy with the spacing in the beginning. So I did, like I said, move some stuff around until I was happy with like how all the lines were spaced. And then I took some green ribbon to form that loop on top, and I'll show you that in a minute. So for making that little loop, I just took a little piece of green ribbon and then I'm hot gluing it onto the back of my circle. And I'm going to be using this green ribbon later on as well. And this is from, I believe, actually Dollar Tree. I don't know for sure. But it's really nice, like a dark green velvet ribbon. And I wanted it to look a little bit like an ornament, which is why I'm doing this little loop. Plus, just to add something at the top. And again, it's really easy. You can make this out of anything. It doesn't have to be ribbon. You can do twine, or you could do cut out a piece of paper to look like the hook of an ornament. That would be really cool too. But I just wanted something that made it look a little more realistic. So after putting on that loop, I glued the circle or the ornament onto the backing of my sign. And then I'm taking these smaller gold letters. These are still metallic, but they don't have actual glitter on them. And I'm using it to spell out the on top of the holly and then on top of the ivy, just to finish out all of the words. And again, I did have to play with the spacing a little bit because I wasn't happy with it at first, but it turned out fine in the end. And then once I was doing that, it was time to move on to the last step.
I can't pretend I don't love you. I can't pretend I don't miss your touch. I want you so much. I can't go cry on your shoulder. Feel safe with you when I'm older. Just know I tried to come back for you.
So for the last step, I decided I wanted to put a beaded hanger on this. And so how I do this is I take a piece of twine and I knot one end, and then I wrap some tape around the other end so I can just string some beads on. And these beads are from Amazon. And after I put a few on, I realized that I didn't tie my knots big enough, so they started rolling off. But it's just a reminder, wrap it around a couple times. And so after I did that, I went ahead and just finished stringing them on, and then I tied a knot on the taped end as well.
I found the light in all this, something to get me through. Now every day is a challenge. Top down, blowing smoke out. It's not good for my balance. It sounds great, but I'm burnt out. 'Cause now the drugs aren't working. I've taken all I can, but my heart's still hurting. This can't be all I am. 'Cause leaving me so lonely.
And then to finish this project off, I just had to go ahead and glue this on. The knots help to give a little more contact, I guess, to the glue and help it stick. But I did go ahead and reinforce it with a little piece of tape.
Did you notice when I passed you yesterday that I was frozen? Thinking, flashing back, I can't live in the moment. My heart's still in the past, but we ain't spoken since you left me broken. When you said that you needed solace that I can't offer you, I found a light in all this, something to
So for this next DIY, I wanted to make a box. I'm going to be doing that using some of Dollar Tree's wooden squares. And you're going to need like about 1 1/3 packages for this project. So the first step was I'm going to be making 3 of these 2 square rectangles, and I'm just doing that using some popsicle sticks and some hot glue. So after I made 3 of those, I'm then going to use those to form the bottom and then the 2 long sides. And then I'll be using 2 single squares to cap off the ends. And then to glue these sides together, I'm just using some Jenga blocks. These are also from Dollar Tree. and then some hot glue. And you don't have to worry about getting this perfectly square because we are going to be doing some stuff on the outside edges on the two sides. So don't worry about getting it like perfectly straight on the corners. Just try to do the best you can. And this is what it looks like with one of these squares done. I went ahead and I just kind of glued the end cap, I guess you could call it, onto the Jenga blocks. And then I took it outside and I used some pink spray paint. It's called Vintage Blush. I believe it's from Home Depot. And I just gave the thing a good coat. And then I did see some patches where the wood was showing through, so I went ahead and did a light second coat where I needed it. And then it was time to paint my snowflakes. So I'm taking these little wooden snowflakes that are from Hobby Lobby, and then in a cup I combined some white acrylic paint and then literally a drop of that like tan acrylic paint, and then I painted all of my snowflakes on one side, and this only took one coat. So once my box was all spray painted, I went ahead and I took these white glittery stickers. These are from Hobby Lobby, and I wanted to spell the word snowballs onto the front of my box. But at first I had the wrong word in mind, and then also I didn't realize how much space snow was going to take up compared to balls for the second half of the word. So I did have to play around and move the letters around. Thankfully, these stickers are very forgiving. I have found that foam stickers tend to be very easy to peel up and then stick back again, and they will stay there. So definitely recommend those if you're bad like me at getting things straight. And I am taking my snowflakes and I'm going to start gluing them on, and I wanted them some more off of the edge than others. And again, you can use whatever you want. I'm using snowflakes obviously, but you can do buttons or do some trim or some ribbon or anything you can find.
I need a break from taking breaks. I hear the birds outside, oh man, I stayed up late. Nothing even matters, wasted on my shots. My AC broke and it's getting way too hot. Now lately, I don't even know the day. Now it takes my everything to feel okay. Can't keep my head above water with everything that's going on. I can't keep up feeling like I'm falling, 'cause if it's normal I feel wrong. Being drunk don't feel the same in a daydream, feeling all alone. I hate me faking all the things I know, and I just
And then came the fun part of dumping in the snowballs. So I have 3 different sizes here. I have the small, the medium, and then the large. So I started by just dumping them all in, and then I kind of played around with them so that, you know, you have some big ones on the bottom, some big ones on the top, and then I used some of the extra smaller ones to kind of fill in so that you didn't see the shopping bags underneath.
it takes my everything to feel okay. Can't keep my head above water with everything that's going on. I can't keep up feeling like I'm falling, 'cause if it's normal I feel wrong. Being drunk don't feel the same in a daydream.
And then here's the final product.
And I just wanna go.
So for the final project, this one is super easy. All you're going to need is a strand of Dollar Tree's wooden beads, a pack of their bells, the wooden bells, and then some more of that green ribbon. So to start out, I'm taking some of this pink spray paint, which is the same stuff I used for my box, as you can see, and I'm spray painting my bells. I did both sides, and then I'm taking some of this green ribbon, and I am just tying some bows. And so I tie a small bow, and then I cut it off, and then I just repeated that process like 5 times. So now it's time to assemble the garlands. So I start out by taking one of my bows, and then I just untie it, and then I tie it back onto this garland, or what's going to become a garland. And so I tied it like 3 beads from the end, and I did that on both sides. And then I also put 3 more. I just like evenly spaced them as best I could onto the garland. And then to tie on my bells, I just cut pieces of twine, and then I taped one end on all of them before threading them through this tiny hole in the bells. And the hole comes naturally with it when you buy it. And so after taping it, I find that it helps to twist the tape a little bit at the end. And for getting it through the hole, because it's a very small hole, it's kind of challenging, but it's easier to do if you're pushing and twisting at the same time. It goes through pretty easily actually, and then you just have to give it a tug and it comes through. So I'm doing that on all of my bells. So now we need to tie these bells on, and the way I'm doing this is I'm finding the middle bead or the middle space approximately in between my bows, and then I tie a knot, and there's naturally a space in between some of these beads just because of the way it comes from Dollar Tree. So I just use my fingers and push them away, and then after doing one knot and tying them all on, I did a second knot because I wanted to make sure that they were staying on there, and then all I had to do was trim the ends close to it. And here is how it looks. And that's it, everyone. If you liked it, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe. And thank you so much for watching.